Hey guys, it's Darren, the home for mobile reviews, A.ca, and today I'm going to do a review of the Urban Armor Gear Monarch. This is supposed to be a tough and fancy case, and I will say that tough and fancy usually don't go in the same sentence, but Urban Armor Gear does make it work with the Monarch. Visually, the standout feature for me is the back of the case. There's a lot going on, but I really like how it looks. Now, the texture on the case makes the iPhone easier to handle, especially for the larger 7 Plus or 6S Pluses. There's one design aspect that I'm not a big fan of, and the marketing fluff on this case is actually quite bad. Spoiler alert, 2x drop protection isn't what you think it actually is. Or is it? Kind of depends on how you interpret marketing fluff. For my Urban Armor Gear Monarch review, I've given this case a score of 4.2 A's out of 5. This is going to change because of the marketing fluff. If you're looking for something fancy and tough, do check out the Extoria Defense Luxe. It has more metal in the case, which kind of makes it look a little cooler, maybe, for some people. If you want to find out what the best cases are, check out my top 10 list on my website, or the best cases are, check out that on my website as well. Links are in the I or the description section below. Real usage, real reviews. Mobile Reviews A.ca. Mobile Reviews A.ca, we base everything we do on actual usage. And by we, I mean I, and sometimes we, it's me and Monty. So when we see marketing fluff that's like 2x drop tested, we're thinking, hey, that's pretty awesome, we're gonna go try that. And then we look a little closer into the actual marketing fluff and we realize it's actually not what we thought it was. For design, the Monarch is a little thicker than the average iPhone case, but is just as slim. All the fancy layers that Urban Armor Gear lists out also increases the weight of the case, as it sits around 54 grams, with the average iPhone 7 Plus case sitting about 39 grams. The Monarch has 5 layers of protection, which seems like a lot, but wait. The first layer is the armor frame, followed by the leather, the polycarbonate shear plate, whatever that means. There's an alloy metal hardware and impact-resistant rubber. So those are the 5 layers. Now, one of these layers seems a little useless in terms of protection. Can you guess which one it is? It's the metal alloy hardware. I don't know what this is going to do in terms of drop protection. In fact, the metal alloy hardware is actually its own layer because it goes through the entire case. So to me, the 5-layer protection is really like a 5-layer dip, but you know, all the salsa is clumped into the middle and not layered efficiently through the rest of the layer. Like it's, you know, or maybe it's a 4-layer dip and the bowl of chips in the middle is considered the 5th layer. I'm not quite sure I would call this a 5-layer case, but again, that's part of the marketing fluff that I kind of think is fun to poke at. The case will wear well, unlike other leather cases, as the leather portion doesn't actually make any contact with a flat surface even during drops. The texture of the case is awesome. I love how it feels in my hand. Right. The edges have a honeycomb design that enhances the grip, and the back of the case has lots of texture and ridges for your fingers to rub against. One of the design features that iPhone 6S Plus or 6 Plus users will love is that they've made this case compatible with the older iPhone by allowing it to have a headphone jack cutout, which is awesome for those people with those iPhones, but people with the iPhone 7 might be a little annoyed because, well, there's a headphone jack cutout for a phone that doesn't have a headphone jack. It just seems kind of lazy to do it in this manner because you could design a case that fits both without being completely obvious like most does. Now for functionality, I didn't have any issues accessing the iPhone inside the case. The buttons are nice, but you can see the iPhone through the buttons. The camera cutout is big enough that it doesn't get in the way of the flash, and you can use whatever lightning cable you want with the Urban Armor Gear Monarch. Now, before we move on to protection, I did give the Urban Armor Gear extra points because of the unique design. I haven't seen an iPhone case that looks like this with all these different materials. I really like the look of this case. So if you know anybody who is looking for a fancy, relatively tough case, point them in the direction of the Urban Armor Gear Monarch. Now for protection, the Urban Armor Gear Monarch is going to provide your iPhone with great day-to-day protection from average drop height. What? Only average? Oh noes. On the box it says 2x drop protection, which doesn't equate to 2x the drop height. It equates to Urban Armor Gear dropping the case 52 times at 4 feet to achieve the mil standard A10G drop rating instead of the normal 26 times. So they just dropped it twice as many times at 4 feet, which is pretty important, I guess, because they're saying you could drop it twice as much as the average case that's rated to mil spec A10G, but it's not 2 times the height. So that's kind of what I was fooled on. I was really excited. I had initially given this case the drop protection score a full 1 because I thought, hey, 2 times? That's like 9 feet, which is awesome. But now it's just normal, half a point for 4 feet drop protection. So I guess silly me as a consumer reading this marketing fluff. So if you're planning on doing any 10-foot drops with a Monarch, don't, because it's not drop rated to that height. But if you're going to be dropping it a bunch of times from 4 feet or letting Monty participate in a drop test, then by all means, do that in the Urban Armor Gear Monarch. So that's all I got. Thanks guys for watching, and if you're wondering what this thing is, this is a yam. Monty loves yams. So do I. I like them better than potatoes. And it's an actual yam, not a sweet potato. It's an actual yam. I got lots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 yams. And you're wondering why I have so many yams? It's because I went to the Chinese market and they only allow me to pay with a credit card if I spend over $5. So I had to buy $5 worth of yams, which is equivalent to 8 yams. Okay, now I'm done. Like, that was probably the most useless piece of information that you're going to consume today.